We can roll out during the hurricane season within about 6 hours. We'll load everything. Almost everything's already set, ready to go. If we get a no-notice event, which could be a barge hits a bridge or a building collapses here locally, within a matter of hours we can assemble the whole team. But we also have smaller components that are broken down that, if need be, can respond within minutes. The trucks are stationed, they're set up at certain stations, and they can actually be responded to in a matter of minutes. This is really important because of the area that we live in. We live in a large area, a diverse area. You can have anywhere from out in the rural areas where we may have a grain silo, we have a problem there. It could be downtown in the port dealing with some of the ships that come in, a lot of hazardous material, and unfortunately we live in an area that likes hurricanes. So we have to make sure that we're able to deal with it if it happens here, and also, God forbid it never happens, terrorism is on everybody's mind. There's obviously some targets here in the Bay Area that are of interest, so we have to make sure that if there is an issue, we're able to handle them and deal with them. I think one of the greatest things is, instead of waiting for those assets to come here to help us, we're already here, we're ready to go, and we can deal with them instantly as they happen.
Thanks to Captain Rossetti and Captain Roberts, I think we now have a good understanding of what USAR, the Urban Search and Rescue Team, is all about. In the background, we have been watching USAR team members practicing and training. We asked Tampa Fire District Chief and USAR instructor Ron Pinner what skills the firefighters were practicing at his station.
Yeah, this is a simple operation. A lot of times when we use our airbags, we're lifting up cars and things like that. This object is round, and we're just showing them the idea of being able to lift up an object that's not perfectly square, how to secure it, how to maintain control over it over the whole period of operation. The airbags have different ratings. We're trying to teach them how to use 2 bags at a time. Also, as the rating goes up, the bags get bigger, and just to be able to measure the object that we're lifting so that we know that the correct weight of it, so we can make sure we use the right airbags for that weight. It actually weighs about 1,650 pounds. Concrete actually, every cubic foot is about 150 pounds with rebar. Without rebar, it's about 145. So it just shows you the mass and the weight that we're dealing with. As we move on later on to the day, we're going to go to larger objects and all that. So now that they understand the lifting process, the capabilities of the bags and what they may need to use to achieve that.
When dealing with such heavy weight, the safety of rescuers and any potential patients has to be a priority.
We have a lot of safety factors built in. The airbags that we're using to lift are anywhere from 1.8 tons all the way up to about 72 tons, roughly. So we use different size bags according to what kind of lift that we need to achieve.
One of the students in today's class is Lieutenant Jeremy Finney. I asked him what he was learning at this training course.
A lot of what we're doing is some of it's refresher from some other courses that we've taken. We've done trench rescues, confined spaces. A lot of the equipment's the same, but we're utilizing it in different ways. So learning different aspects of some of the equipment that we have available to us, and other ways that we can use it, using airbags to lift and secure concrete pieces that might have fallen on people, or culverts like we're dealing with here. Learning how to lift those safely and making sure that we're mitigating any situation we can come across, utilizing lots of different equipment that's available to us. I'm learning that concrete's real heavy. We're moving a lot of this stuff around, and you saw we're doing some figures and learning, trying to figure out how much this stuff weighs and whether or not our equipment can even deal with it. Sometimes, stuff is just too big and too bulky for us to be able to deal with, and figuring out that what we have might not even be able to handle some of the situations. We need to get special other tools involved, like cranes and things like that, to be able to help us out.
Richard Rigdon is a driver engineer and USAR instructor with Hillsborough County Fire Rescue. He is teaching a station that involves the use of a crane to move large pieces of cement, similar to what might be found after a building collapse.
We're going over lifting large pieces of rubble from, say, a building collapse or something like that, in order for our USAR team would be going in and to do extractions and pull people out. We're coming into an incident. They're going to remove the debris out of our way so that we can bring in larger cranes, things like that. Or they're going to do precision lifts where we may have a dog may hit, we may think that there's a victim underneath it, and we're going to do nice, slow, steady lifts depending on how the concrete's shaped. It's got to come up nice and level and even.
Among the many lessons that firefighters are learning today is all equipment, no matter how big, has limitations.
familiar to crane operators, unfamiliar to firefighters are is that there's crane charts. They're real important. An 80-ton crane isn't as strong as you think it is once the boom is all the way up and you've got a lot of distance out from the truck. So they have to understand that at some point an 80-ton crane will only pick up 500 pounds. And they got to know if they're on a large rubble pile, they have to know where those limits are and work within it. So finding out the weights of the concrete, working with our engineers that we kind of train with, they're able to decipher that and figure it out.
Communications on a loud and expansive emergency scene can be difficult at best. Sometimes hand signals work better than the newest technology.
There's always the problem that we have with communications. The radios can go out. Sometimes there's a delay with the digital radios that we use, and we're able to, with the crane signals, we usually do line of sight. If not, we're going to do an exercise after this where there's actually a relay where the operator goes behind the crane, which would simulate him being behind a rubble pile or another building, and basically he's going off of signals from a signal to the operator, so he has to relay with totally blind, so we kind of function like that.
The training these firefighters are receiving here today goes well above and beyond what is required of them. If you ask them why they do this, you would probably get a wide variety of answers. Here are some of what they told us.
Mainly it's just so I keep myself and my crew safe and being able to recognize different hazards. You know, you never know what you're going to roll up on, and you know, whether or not it's going to be something that I'm going to be able to help at least get the initial response going, and being able to recognize that I'm not going to be able to handle what I'm doing with what I've got, and knowing that I need more help and I need to call somebody else in.
At its root, we're here to help. I wanted this training personally because when I saw Katrina, I wanted to say, hey, I want to get there and help those people. So you come out here, you get the extra training, and that'll teach you how to do the things that get the training that you need to have to go and possibly deploy to one of those areas and actually be of use.
This is the ultimate challenge. When everything else around has basically disintegrated and you are the only ones that can find the answer and solve the problem, I enjoy the challenge, and that's part of the reason it pulled me in, and I continue to stay within the program and try and make it a better program for when I leave here, pass it on to the next ones.
As you can see, the firefighters are out here on this wintry day learning skills that they need to help you should a disaster strike. Thanks for watching.
Members of Florida Task Force 3 are ready to handle any emergency. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next month on Scene with Tampa Fire Rescue.